This conference will now be recorded.
So this recording will be available for 1 year till from today to till one year, and you can access this video anytime. We'll share the link with you, and you'll be able to watch the video and go through that session. You can do that for a year. And for this course, we are basically going to do. We are going to learn the manual testing, automation testing, some of like database testing, and also API testing. So for some of you, you might be thinking that we know that what is the manual testing is, whatever that we do manually, that is manual testing. Whatever we do like automation, like automatic, anything is automatic, that is automation testing. Database testing, if like anything is your data is in your database and you have to test it, so that is database testing. For some of you, if you don't know the API is kind of like web services testing. You will know about this when we do that. We do the very last thing, last topic of this course is API. So you'll be fine with that because we need to know only the basic of the API only for the interview. So most of the cases throughout this whole course, when I will take this session, I will also pass you the interview question when I will continue the classes. So if possible, try to make a note of that so that in the next, like after you complete this session, after you complete this course, if you want to review something, if you go through your notes, then it will be easy for you to remember all these things that you are doing, that you'll be doing here in this course. And for the sessions, we'll start like 6:30 or 6:35. I'll give you 5 minutes extra to join the session. And we'll take a break around like 7:20 because we have to play for Maghrib. So we'll take the break at around that time. So after that, we'll continue till 9. And after 9, we'll have like a half an hour help session. So this session is basically whatever we'll learn in this session. If you have any issue, we'll go through that. But that doesn't mean that if you have any issue, you'll not ask any question. So the learning policy here in this course is when I am describing anything, any topic, we are discussing any topic. If you have any question, ask the question right away, so that you don't have any like a confusion or any like question in your mind after the session. So we'll move in that way. Okay. So I want you, all of you, to move with me. Okay. So no one should be like, okay, so I don't know this one, I will ask later. Don't do that. If you have any question, just ask it. So in this way, you will be like learning, and there will be no issue with learning the next topic. So some of the topics are related with the previous topic. So it will be easy for you to understand the next topic. So do that, and every week we will have 2 sessions on Tuesday and Thursday. After these 2 sessions, if you need extra help, we'll also you can also get that help on Sunday in the morning at 10. We'll have like a help session from 10 to 12. But if I don't see anyone from 10 to 11, so I will like stop that session, and there will be no help session after 11. But if you need any help, just join the session at 10. But if you are late, just email me that I'll be joining late. Please keep that open, the meeting open. I'll stay for you. And one more thing, after these 2 sessions, every week there will be 2 sessions, and after these 2 sessions, you will get a homework, or you can say it's a task. If you do the homework, then it will be easy for you to go to the market and get the job very quickly. Because in the homework, what we will give you is the same thing, the same question the interviewer will ask you. So we'll try to finish this course by like 3.5 months or 4 months. It depends on you basically, not on me. Because if it takes time for you to understand any topic, we'll extend one more extra class or one more extra week class. Okay, so that is basically depends on you, not on me. If you want, I can finish it at on 3 months, but I want you to learn. I want to give you some time so that you can learn. So do you have any question? Anything about the course or anything?
I think I'm okay.
Okay. And also try to join the session on time. It's okay that if you're joining late for some issue, but if you are joining on time, then you'll be like learning from the beginning and you will not miss anything. Okay, then let's start our session with the manual testing. So this is the part that we'll try to complete within like 3 weeks. And within these 3 weeks, you will be learning about different types of testing, what type of documents you have to follow, what type of documents you will create, what are the concept you need to know to work in a project. So that are the things that we learn in these 3 weeks. It's all totally about the manual testing. And after these 3 weeks, we'll move forward to the automation. The automation will take like around 2 months because it's a huge thing, and you need some time to practice. You need to learn this, so it's fine. You'll be fine with this if you are continuing with homework, submitting your homework on time, and understanding everything. Then you'll be fine. Don't worry about that. So something from my background is I was not in this testing before. I have like different uh, or working background, but somehow I involved in it, and now I'm working on it. This is my like I work in a couple of projects and still working. So I'll be sharing with you like all my real work scenarios and the experience with you. Okay, and from now on, just think like you are in a project. So from today, you started project. Just pick any company. Any company means like any like Amazon.com or eBay or something else. Just pick any company and send that name to me by email. I will share my email address to you, to all of you. Just send that name with me. I'll give you some task based on your company, the company you'll choose. Okay, in this way, you will think like you are in a project and will work like I will give you some task, you have to complete that on time. So in that way, you will be thinking, you will be like you'll be getting that experience that you are in a project and how you will behave when you will get a project. Because I know that most of you don't have any experience working in a project or how to behave in a project when you like newly join in that project. So it will be a good idea if you do that. Just send me an email with the company name that you want to go with. Okay. Let me share my email address with all of you. It's not mandatory to do it now. You can do it later. Okay. So this is my email address. Whenever you get chance, just shoot an email to me that I want to go with this company. If the company is already taken by by someone else, then I will tell you to choose some other company. Okay, it doesn't matter if it is a big or a small, just choose any company. So first of all, let's start with this session. So we have to go through it all these slides because it's a manual testing, so we need to learn the process of testing, the terms of testing, the terminologies and process and the different kinds of testing. So also the SDLC, that is software development lifecycle. So we need to go through it, all of these things. So you might feel these things are like boring. It's also boring for me, but we have to go through this. Okay, so SQA or QA. Usually when you go to the market or when you see some people are working as like a QA. So QA is like a common term that we use in like overall, like, what is that? Yes. So definitely when I'm talking, if you have any question, just you can ask me the question. Do you have any question now? Okay. So we have two terms. One is SQA and one is QA. Because you are going to test software, the application. That's why it's SQA. But when the people are doing only QA, like that is kind of like quality assurance on some product, that is not related to software. So that is something like overall quality assurance. So this is the place where you have to understand that what you are doing. Okay, you are doing QA, which is fine, but you are doing SQA, which is software quality assurance. That's why our course name is also SQA. And if I want to give you some basic of the quality assurance, that is like in developing products and service quality assurance is any systematic process of checking to see whether a product or service being developed is meeting specified requirements or not. Let's say that I want the company to develop develop a website like Amazon.com. Let's say I'm a eBay client, and I want to create a website that will be look like Amazon, that will be perform as like Amazon. Now, you for example, that company that I give that work to be done, that company created the website that is basically a restaurant website. Is it the right thing that I'm getting?
No.
No, right? So basically here, someone needs to perform this quality assurance who will check that is this the right thing that the client asked for? That is why we need this QA, this SQA. QA, yes, it's overall term. SQA, this is software. Like if you are working with the software, then we call this as a SQA. So that is the thing that you have to understand, that when you will be working in a team, in a project, your task is to find out the defects, find out the problems in the software, and make the life of a developer like a hill, like any way. Okay, that is your task. You have to find the bug, you have to find the defect. No matter what, how big it is, no matter what, how small it is, if you find a problem, you have to tell your developer that, okay, the developer is the person who develops that application. Okay, so you have to tell your developer, okay, you created this application, but it's not working as expected, so you have to fix it. So you have to ping that person as long as that person fixes that issue. Okay, and that is your duty, that is your job, you have to perform. And that is why The developers and testers never be a friend. Okay. So this course will cover the introduction of quality assurance industry, manual testing, concept, terms, structure, tools that you are going to use for testing. Uh, on automation side, we will do the Java, Selenium testing, and Cucumber. For SQL, we'll learn how to write the query in the database. And this API that I already told you is for web services testing. We'll give you the concept, how to work with this, how to do the testing, and we'll do the testing using the Postman. Okay, these are the things that we'll cover in our whole course. And these are the titles you will be like working on. Like you might be hired as like a quality assurance tester, software tester, QA engineer, QA tester or engineer. SDAT is kind of like advanced role, like whoever can do the development work, software development work, and also want to perform the testing. So that kind of person go and work in SDAT. The full form of SDAT is software development engineering test. If you're confident enough that you learn a lot and you are like you can manage a team, then you can go also for this post, that is QA lead. Then you can also look for the job for us like manual tester, then performance tester. Usually we don't apply for this position because for performance tester we need to learn some of the tools that usually we don't learn in this course. So that is like different thing. Automation tester, that is the main thing you have to look for, because your target is to learn the automation and apply for the job which is automation, which is related to automation. Why we need to learn this automation is right now in the market 90% jobs are like related to automation. 90%. So many companies, the projects, they're moving into automation. Why? Because manual testing takes lots of time to complete the task. Let's say that I have to test 100 things. Okay, we're not using that the terms that you will learn right now. I'm just using the basic terms. Let's say that you are let me share the screen. This one. Let's say this is your application. Okay, now you see this everything here, like this is your header where there are like 4 pictures of there. They have some tags here. It says that prepare for prime early access sale, then most loved patient gifts, holiday session preview. So this is our like separate blocks, and inside this block you have separate items, right? Different items here. So how many items you can see here in this website? A lot, right? If you just perform the manual testing on this page, it will take a lot of time to complete the job. Just only on this page. And just imagine that how many pages they have, how many links they have. If you open and go, like there are like lots of pages there in Amazon.com, right? That's why many companies, they are moving out from the manual to automation. Okay, so your main target will be learning the automation, but that doesn't mean that you will not focus on manual, because in an interview they will definitely ask you some question from manual, like SDLC, like some kind of like testing. So they will ask you this kind of question. Okay, that's why you need to learn this manual and automation both. Okay, so let's move forward here. So these are the post, the title you will work on. Now, this is a like very common confusing thing that we might face project and product. So what is project and what is product? So if you are like learning and if you are going to if you're going to a market and getting a job, you will be working in a project, right? But what this project will do, you have to understand that what this project will do. Basically, this project will be developed for a single customer. Like one customer is asking for something to develop. Let's say that I want something to develop, and I want to hire a company who will develop that thing for me. So I'm the one single person, right, for that product, and I'm giving the task, giving that software like concept to that company so that they can build that software, build that application for me. For that reason, they have created a project. So this project is developed for a single customer on his own requirements. Like I give that requirement. So I want the customer will go to that homepage where the customer can see some products. They can also log into my application. They can also order some items from there. So I'll just give some imaginary requirement to that company to build that product. So that requirements by the software companies and the project will be used by the customer only. So I am the person who will be using this product. Now it's my choice if I want to make that open like for everyone or not, or if I want to keep on myself. Most of the project when you will be working in a project in the real life, real world, some projects will be like customer facing. Customer facing means that the real users will work on that, and some projects will be internal. Internal means that within that company they will only work. That product, that application will not work outside for outside people like normal users. So do you think that this Amazon.com, they have only this project? No, they have a lot, like thousands of projects going on in their company. Not all the projects are open for us. We can only see this part, right? But there are a lot of things are going on the background. So some of the projects when you will work, some of the projects it will be customer facing. I can see, okay, this is a project is doing by someone. So I can see this one, right? I'm a real user. So I can see this one. So this is called customer facing. Okay. So I can see this one. But some of the project is not like customer facing. I cannot see it, but internal people can use that. Let's say that the accounts, the people who are working on accounts in the Amazon company, they have a separate application where the people from this Amazon who will work in the Amazon, they will go and do some work like accounting related work. So that is internal application. That is not a customer facing application. So there is like two different things, right? In the project. In the project, we have two types. Now this product, if you see here, this is a product. Product is basically developed for multiple customers. Let's say that I want to I want to develop a product that will be a customer facing, and for that I need to collect some requirement. Okay, what about this item? I need to find out the requirements for this. I need to find out, let's say, football session here is here, right? So this is something new added. Now I want to know that will this really work? I need to find out. I need to do some I need to ask some real customers. I can do some polling. I can do some survey. So I have to do something to gather some information so that I will be make sure that this whatever the things I will do will not take me let me down, right? So that is why I need to get some requirements. This requirement is not only for to like should I keep it or should I not keep it. It's also for what kind of item I have to keep it. What kind of item, what will be the like price range, what will be the like teams I have to include here. So these are the things that will be in my requirement. I have to collect. Once I get that, I will build the product here. I will build the product. So that is basically the difference between the project and product. If you want to go through this, the book, like what is that called? Product is developed for multiple customers on their consolidated requirements by the software companies, and the product will be used by all customers. So I'm making this product for all the customers. So that is basically the difference between project and product. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, it's about the previous page. Sorry, forgot to mention it then.
Mhm.
Scrum Masters, do they test too?
Scrum Master is basically when you will work at least in a project, then you will get the idea that what the Scrum Master does. So what they do is they facilitate the meetings, like they track the tickets that everyone have. Like
Mhm.
usually how we work is we have to like take some work and we have to complete that within 2 weeks. And after every like these 2 weeks, we call this as a sprint. We'll learn that. So these 2 weeks we call that as a sprint. And after every four sprint, which is mean almost like 2 months, we do a release. A release is something like this. Let me give you the idea here. Uh, not here. You see this one here in the Google Chrome? It's
Yes.
106, right? So till now, they have 106 release. This is their main release. So every 2 months, we have a release. And if, like when you will be joining the team, either they will be very new, they don't have any release yet, they just started, or you might be joining the team in the middle. Like they have already like 5, 6 release or 10 release, then you join, and then you have to work on this testing. Okay. So in that case, this Scrum Master basically track the work, like the developer, like engineer, like design and architect, and also the tester. So they do this track because someone need to ask about this work, about these tickets. That okay, so what progress you have done like yesterday, and what you have planned to do today. And are you facing any issue? If they face any issue, they mention that. This is about like every day we do that. They have to mention that, and whoever responsible who is like related to this issue, they talk about that. So that is the thing that Scrum Master does: facilitate the meetings, track the tickets, and also provide the reports to the client, the product owner, the stakeholders. You got your answer? Are you there?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Okay. So I don't suggest to go for Scrum Master in your very first project. because right now you don't have any idea about the Scrum Master. Scrum Master is basically, you know the circus, like where the person stays in the middle and use the hunter to like do some job, right? To this the animals
Mm-hmm.
that they place. So that's the main person, right? Who does that?
Right. Right.
And the people who enjoys, they're our customers. So there is some person, the management is looking for, okay, so I want one person who will do this job and give me some results. So that management is getting some money from the customers. It's okay, you learn that, okay?
Thank you.
But for now, do you get it's just like a Scrum Master? Did you get any? Did you get the idea about the Scrum Master?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Okay, no problem then. And the project manager, if you work in like couple of projects, then you also will get the idea about the project manager, what this project manager does, and what are the responsibilities are. So usually we don't go for these two titles in the very beginning. Okay, so let's start again. These are the like the software everywhere. If you go, the software is included everywhere. Whatever you touch, everything is in software, like related to software. Your computer have a lots of application. Like this train is running on the software. This plane is running on the software. Rocket, everything is running on the software. Even the signals. So, did you ever see anything like this? Like the road is empty, you have a red light, and then when you approach to the red light, it becomes green. So there is something like automatic is going on over there, right? It's detecting if there is any car in that lanes or not. If there isn't any, then it turns to green. In some places, I saw that. I don't know that. Did you see that or not? But in some places, I saw that.
Yeah, motion sensor active.
Yes. So it's a motion sensor, but it's basically working in the software, right? Okay. So these are the things, and let's go for this one. This is a small video that how the software is made. It's coming from very basic idea. Like if you don't have any idea about what is the software is, then you might get some idea like how the software created. Okay, so let's just check this video.
A computer program, otherwise known as software, is made up of ones and zeros. This is known as binary, and it is the only thing that the computer understands.
You might not be like understanding everything from this video, but I'll explain everything. Okay, don't worry.
So how do we get from an idea to the finished software? Writing the binary yourself would be slow, tedious, and take way too long. Instead, we'll use something called source code. Source code is the instruction.
Okay, so here what we are talking about is you have an idea to create an application or software. Now you have to implement that, you have to create that. So how you will create that? Because your computer doesn't understand anything other than the binary. Binary is 1 and 0. So this is kind of like I'm talking about high level thing. Okay, when you're typing anything in a Microsoft Word, like for example your name, and saving it, basically in the background your computer is not understanding anything about like this whatever you name is you have written in that document. It's just understanding, okay, so it's converting that to a binary and it's saving it. Okay, so your computer only understand the binary value, that is 1 and 0. That's it. Everything you do, it converted to binary.
to the computer that's meant to be human readable.
And this is the course that basically will create to make our application, to develop our application. Okay, and in the automation, when you will start the automation, you will be writing this kind of codes. Okay.
With a little practice, that is. Source code can be written in one of many different programming languages. These are the main ones in use today. Here's a very simple program written in a programming language called C++. This program simply displays the words "Hello World" to the computer screen. In order for the computer to actually run the program, the source code must be turned into binary. This process is called compiling.
So we'll be understanding this compiling more when we'll move into that the automation. Okay, but here what we're doing is we're writing this code in any programming language. So basically we have like a lot of programming languages like C, C++, Java, like Python, C#, JavaScript. So these are all different programming languages, but we'll work on Java. Let's say that you are writing the code in Java, but basically that is converted into this kind of like binary code, and this binary code will be passed into that computer and build the software. Okay.
Once we have our ones and zeros, the computer can then run the program. If there are any mistakes in the source code, such as a misspelled word or missing punctuation mark, the compile will fail and you won't be able to run the software. Simple programs can be written by one developer in a reasonable amount of time. However, professional software may involve hundreds of developers and take a matter of years to complete. A large software project like this would be split up into hundreds or even thousands of files.
So you see that if the project is very complex, it takes a lot of developers to complete that, and it also needs testers. Whenever there is a project, they definitely need a tester to test that, because developers cannot test. Okay, they don't believe that testing on developers, because developers, if they develop and also test, it will be always fast, because the developer will be thinking only one way to test it. But as a tester, you have to think it like all possible ways, like it can be like a 10, 20, 30 ways you can test. So you have to think all of these ways. Okay, and that is why you are a tester. Every time you do anything, just think that, can I test it in different way? Can I go it in different way? Because you are a tester.
Being able to collaborate is essential for their success. One concept that allows them to do so is called revision control. Here's how it works. All the source code for the software is stored on a server. Each developer stores a copy of these files on their machine. They can then make changes to one or more files and then submit those changes to the server when they are ready. The server stores a detailed list of what files were changed, what those changes were, and who submitted it.
So this is basically like sharing the code, sharing the work within the team. In the team, you might have like 5 developers. All these 5 developers are developing the same application. Might be different module or might be the same module, but different same application, right? So when they are working in the same application, so they have to share their code, right? And this is the server, which is basically they need it to share the code.
You can then make changes, files were changed, what those changes were, and who submitted it. If at any time the program gets into a bad state, the developers can undo the changes until the program is working correctly again. Software developers try hard, but there are always a few problems with the code. We call these problems bugs. Even after a piece of
You see this bug, you have to find this bug. That is your job.
software is released to the public, the software developers must continue to fix bugs and further improve the software. This is why software has updates or new versions that come out periodically. Software can be created in 2 different ways. The most common is proprietary. The software is owned by a person or company.
So this proprietary basically means that if that software or the application is owned by someone, for example, like Microsoft. If you want to use the Microsoft Word or Microsoft Excel, you have to buy that product, right? That is a proprietary software. But if there is any software
sold to make money. The source code is not released to the public, only the
okay, let me finish this one.
anyone wanting to change the software will have a difficult time without the source code. The second approach is called open source. This usually means the program is free and that anyone can get access to the source code.
So open source, another one is open source. Basically, if you are using Google Chrome, the browser, right? Almost everyone knows that. Google Chrome, Firefox, these are open source software. So you can use that without any cost, right? So these are called open source. So there are like two kinds of software of the application. One is proprietary and another is open source. You might be working in that proprietary because when you will be hired in, for example, in Amazon. So when you are working in Amazon, whatever you do, that is in like proprietary. Even though if you get hired in Firefox, still Firefox, whatever you will do, that is proprietary to Firefox, but the software is open source. Okay, so make sure that when you get a job, when you work, that project, that product is proprietary to only to that company. You cannot share that things with any other company, with your friend also. They track everything, each and every click on your computer. Okay.
You might be surprised to learn that many of the programs you already use are also open source. Many times the developers are volunteers who are passionate about the software they are creating. Oftentimes they don't even get paid. The software may be free, but keep in mind that donations are rarely turned away.
So this is about like how we create the software and what are the different types of software we have, like proprietary or open source, how we build the software, what kind of programming languages we use. So these are the basic thing. Okay. Do you have any question?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Okay, then let's move forward. So okay, it's 7:18. Okay, let's move forward to the next slide. So I will give you a break on 7:20. Okay, for the multiplayer. Okay, these are the software basically known as like not open source. Yeah, these are the like proprietary software, and these are open source. If you see that the Firefox, Google Chrome, Skype, you can use that. But some of the part, like for example, the premium of the any application, if you want to use that, you have to pay for that. But it's a free. You can use that. So that's why it's open source. And this part is no. Here I'm talking about something else. No, sorry, it's my mistake. So it's not about talking about the open source or proprietary. We are talking about the application and software. Two are different things. Application is something like you don't need to install in your computer. That is application. That is web-based application. Okay, web-based application. Make sure web-based application. And something that you need to install in your computer is a software. Sometimes we call that also application, but it's a software. Let's say that you want to go to the Amazon.com. Let's say, do you need anything in your computer to go to this Amazon.com?
Yes, I need a browser to type www.amazon.com.
Yes, that is true. So you need a browser. So you need a software like Firefox or Chrome, and that is a software that you have to install. Once you install, you can open and you can go anywhere. And on the other hand, the Amazon.com, you can open it with any browser like Firefox, Edge, Safari, or Google Chrome. You can open it with anyone. So that is web-based application. Okay. For that one, you need to install, like, yes, that's true, you need a browser, but you don't need to install Amazon.com. You can access it from any browser. So did you get that the difference between web-based application and software? Any question here? Okay, so if we don't have any question, let's take a break. Like till okay. So Amazon has, yeah, that is true. Amazon has an app, but do you really need that app? Like, let's say that you don't have this app, but you want to access this Amazon.com. Can you do that?
Sorry, I
Yes.
didn't hear the question.
Okay, so one person asked that Amazon, we also have an application for Amazon, right? We can install the application and we can access this Amazon. But let's say that you don't have this Amazon application in your phone or tablet or in your computer, but you want to access this Amazon. Can you do that? We
Yes,
can.
we can.
Yes, we can. We can use that by the browser. So that is the difference between web-based application and software. So let's say that you want to read a PDF file, let's say a book. To read that book, you need a software like Acrobat Reader or PDF Reader, something like that. So you need a software. Without the software, you will not be able to read a book, the PDF book. So that is the difference. Okay. And when you will be working in a project, like 90 to 95% case, you will be working on web-based application. I can say 95%. In very rare case, you will be working on a software. Okay, so it's 7:23. Let's take a break till 7:40. Let's take a break till 7:45. It's fine. Let's take a 2 minutes extra today because today is birthday. 7:45. We'll come back at 7:45 again and start again. Okay.
Thanks.
No problem.
This conference will now be recorded.
So do you have any question till now? Everything is easy and simple, right? Yes, it is. If you if you think, then it will be easy. And how you'll make it easy? Think like you are not forced to learn this course. Okay, try to enjoy. Then you will be understanding everything from here. Okay. Okay. So why we need to test the software? Basically, like why they need testers. It's a very simple thing. If they don't hire the tester and developers perform the testing, if there is an issue, the users will find the issue. They will see there are like a lot of issues are going on. Let's say that I'm a real user and the Amazon.com didn't hire any tester. Did I? Okay. Yes, I did the recording. So Amazon.com didn't hire any tester. They only have developer, and the developer are developing and also testing. They're performing the same, like two posts. Now, after the developing and testing, they release that product for the real users like us. Now, when I'm like going to, like, for example, if I'm going to this Amazon.com and clicking on this card, it's taking me to this homepage or bestseller. which is not expected, right? The developer might only think like if anyone is clicking on bestseller, they're going to the bestseller. But the developer didn't feel like, okay, if anything fails, like if anyone is clicking on card, they should not go to this bestseller. They should go to the card, right? They should go to the card. So that's why they need testers. Okay. The testers confirm that there is no issue, the users can use that. So why? To ensure that what we create on web page, the main application, does what it's supposed to do. As I said, if I click on card, I should go to the card. I shouldn't go to the bestseller, right? Something that works when end user is using it. And the primary purpose of testing is you have to find the issue. So usually in project we call this defect or bug. Then ensure proper functionality of application, like the functionality. If you let's say that I inserted this Amazon.com URL and it's showing me once you land in the Amazon.com, here instead of Amazon it says eBay, right? This is a functionality issue. This this not a functionality issue. This is like a cosmetic issue, but functionality issue is kind of like when you click on this bestseller, it's taking you to the Amazon basic. So this is a functionality issue. So you have to find this kind of issue. Okay. Now improve the quality of product. Let's say that if you click on this bestseller, sometimes it takes too much time to load. So that is kind of like performance. So we don't go to that part. But when you click on this bestseller and when it loads everything, let's say that it's not properly arranged in this page. It's showing something like randomly. It's not like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is number 1 means the number 1 seller, right? So it's not showing the properly. So what you can do is you can suggest or you can talk with your BA or product owner. Product owner, I already told you, right? Who is the product owner is. So if in that kind of situation, you can help them to like modify the application and help them like suggest them to modify something so that real user can get something good, some like good application like this. When the bestseller, when anyone click on bestseller, they are getting all these in a serial with the 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that, not like randoms. Now open channels of communication between team members, developer, product owner, business analyst, other testers. So developers, who develops the application? Okay, who is basically the main person who develops this any application? Product owner. This is the person who basically owns this application, who you are working for, whom you like. Everyone of this team is like reporting to this product owner. Not kind of like reporting, but everyone is falls under this product owner. Because this software, this product is owned by this person, this product owner. Business analyst. Business analyst is the person who will collect the requirement, will pass the requirement to the developers, and developers will create that. Sometime you might see that there is no business analyst in the team, but they have the requirements. So this product owner also sometimes play the roles as like providing the requirements. As I said earlier, so I can be a product owner of eBay and I want to create that application. So I'm the product owner. I'm giving them the requirement like I want when the customer hit ebay.com, they will see some like product on the home page. They can also be able to log into the eBay. They can also buy something. They can add their credit card, debit card, something like that. So this is my requirement. So in that kind of situation, I am the product owner. Now, what is the difference between this product owner business analyst? Is product owner own this product, business analyst only gathers the requirement, pass this requirement to the developers, and help them to understand the requirement. Okay, so this is the business analyst is. And other testers. Other testers means like if this is a very big project and it's a very big team, so you might not be the only tester working in the team. You might have like a couple of manual tester, couple of automation tester. It can be possible. Okay. So if you are in a team, then you have to work in a team. Like whatever they're doing, you have to adopt their approach and start working. So now again, why test software? The main reason is humans make mistakes. The developers are human, right? So they make mistakes. It's a very common thing. So software testing is really required to point out the defects or errors. So these are the terms that we use: defects, bugs, errors, that were made during the development phase. So development phase is basically the time when the developer developed the product. So that phase you call development phase. So you will learn that, no problem. Don't worry about that. This one. Now, as human, we can't identify our mistake in your work done by us, like the developer. If the developer is testing by themselves, they will not find out the mistake, right? So someone needs a special person is needed to find out the mistakes, and you will be the person who will find the mistakes. Okay. So we should get someone else to check our work because another person may identify the mistakes done by us. In the same way, software developers may not identify the mismatches in a program or application implemented by them, which can be identified by another department called software test engineer. So this is kind of like book written things. So what I know is I go in this ways: we make mistakes. If we are a developer, there is a possibility of we are making mistake. So that's why we need tester. If I'm a developer, if I'm developing a product, then if they tell me that okay, you have to test this product, so I will test the way that it will pass, right? This is a basic thing. Now if someone is hired to test that product, that person will try to test that product in different ways, in many different ways. Let me give you an example here. You see this sign in here? Let's say that one of the person is created this with this d@gmail.com. Now, if that person already created this account, then when the user click on this continue, it will ask for the password. But if there is no account, then it will tell me, okay, so there is no account on this one. There is no account. So I'm not able to find it. Something like this. If it is taking to that next page, you see that we cannot find an account with that email address. But if this warning doesn't show up and if it takes to the next page, that means there is an issue, right? So as a tester, you have to think in this way. I have this one in my system. If I put like d@gmail.com, you can continue. It's taking me to that password page where I have to insert my password. And once I insert my valid password and click on sign in, it will allow me to log in. So that is like simple scenario to log in, right? But as a tester, you have to think, okay, so this is a sign in. Why don't we like try to break the system? How? if there is a email address that is not valid, that is there is no user with this one, and if I hit the continue, and if it takes me to that password page, that means that I'm able to break the system. You got the point? Why you are a tester and how you are testing it?
Yes.
Okay. So this is one approach. Another approach is you are inserting a valid email address, but invalid password, and it's taking you to that user page. That means that it's able to log in to your system, which is not a valid thing, right? Which is not valid. That means that the system is not working as expected. If the email address is correct, the password should match with that email address to log into the system. So as a tester, you are also performing that kind of testing where you have to insert invalid username, invalid password, and try to log into the system. If you are able to log into the system, that means that there is a issue, there is an error. And in our project, when we'll be working, we called it as a bug or defect. Okay. Okay, so what is software testing? Same thing. Software testing is a process of executing the application with the intent of finding the defects by comparing the output behavior of the application with expected behavior. So if I say that if the user is inserting the valid username and inserting the valid password and user able to log into the system, it's a requirement. It's a like the customer wants it this way, but it's not acting in that way. It's acting in differently. Like it's not logging to the system even though you are inserting valid username and password. So in that kind of situation, you are breaking the system. You are finding the defect. That's the same thing we're doing here. Software testing. Okay. Any question?
Nope.
Okay. Now let's think about this. Let's check this video, and after the video, then we'll talk about something more about this testing.
What is software testing? Software testing is a process to identify the correctness, completeness, and quality of developed computer software. It includes a set of activities conducted with the intent of finding errors in software so that it could be corrected before the product is released to the end users.
Okay. So the developer will develop that application or the software. After the development, your task is to test that, is to find the issue. If you don't find the issue, then they release that product, they send that product to the user to use it. But if there is any issue, then they have to fix it. The developer have to fix it. If you are able to find any defect or any error, then you have to inform your developer. Oh, okay, so I found this issue. You have to fix it. Without fixing it, don't send it to the user. Don't let them use it. So you have to fix it first. So what we'll do, you will see here.
In simple words, software testing is an activity to check that the software system is defect-free. Why is testing important? This is China Airlines Airbus A300 crashing due to a software bug on April 26, 1994, killing 264 innocent lives.
You see that? How costly is that?
Software bugs can potentially cause monetary and human loss. History is full of such examples. In 1985, Canada's Therac 25 radiation therapy machine malfunctioned due to a software bug and delivered lethal radiation doses to patients, leaving 3 people dead and critically injuring 3 others. In April of 1999, A software bug caused the failure of a $1.2 billion military satellite launch, the costliest accident in history.
You see that it's $1.2 billion lost. So if there is like a proper testing over there, they shouldn't have that much of loss, right?
In May of 1996, a software bug caused the bank accounts of 823 customers of a major U.S. bank to be credited with $920 million US. As you
Which is a good thing, right? We like that amount of money in our account.
see, testing is important because software bugs can be expensive or even dangerous. As Paul Ehrlich puts it, to err is human, but to really foul things up, you need a computer.
You got it? Why we need to learn this testing?
Yes.
Why do the testing? So basically, it will cost a lot of money and also sometimes lives. Okay, so these are the benefits. So still now we are very understanding the very basic things of the software testing, like why we need this, how we do this, something like that. Okay. Hopefully it will be done in like very soon. Okay. Be patient with me. Benefits of software testing is software testing helps in finalizing the software application against business requirements. So every project they follow this requirement. Based on these requirements, they create the application or software. So software testing makes sure that the testing is being done properly and hence the system is ready for the customer use. So once you say that there is no issue, there is no bug, when you give the green signal to your team, okay, I tested in all possible ways and I didn't find any issue, you can go ahead, then they release the product to the users. It can be the real user or it can be the internal user, but they'll release the product. Okay. So you plays a you will be playing a very important role. Okay. Below are few benefits that is software testing have, like finding the defects before the delivery. So that's why you will be in a place. Gains the confidence about the quality. If you find the defect, like if the users find the defect, then it's like a kind of like not a good thing, right? For your product, for your team, for your company. So that's why when you get this the defects, it will make the team confident that okay, so we are achieving the high quality of this product. There is no issue, there is no bug, no users is getting any issue, facing any issue. To prevent the defects, if there is any defect, they have to prevent this, they have to fix that, ensure the requirements are delivered to the client. So whatever the clients have required, like what is the requirement is, they're ensuring that the same requirement is delivered to the client. Okay, what type of testing you do at work? Now, there are like a lot of testing. And not only these, there are like other testings also. Like in here, inside of this performance, there are like a couple of testing. But in manual testing, you'll be performing like couple of things. Like there are like a lot of testing types we have. You will learn later part of time in the slides. But what you'll do in manual testing is a type of software testing where testers manually execute the test cases. So I will come to this later. These test cases, manual tester find bugs, that's mean the issue or the errors in the software system. So you are performing the testing manually, and that's why the manual testing. When you perform the testing in cloud means like everyone aware of this, I think, about this cloud, right? So if you're using Apple, you have an iCloud. If you're using Samsung, then you have like Samsung Cloud maybe. Whatever you have in your phone, basically you can save it in somewhere in the cloud, in their system, in their server. So let's say that you are using iPhone 11. Let's say now you want to upgrade your phone to iPhone 14. You can do that. And previously in the old system, what we do, we just copy and paste it by using the computer, or we are sending the photos and the contact and the files using the Bluetooth. Nowadays, we don't do that. Everything is in the cloud. Everything is in the safe somewhere in that Apple like cloud, iCloud. When you buy the new phone, the 14, iPhone 14, and when you log into that iCloud, it automatically gets all the information from there and set it in your phone. So that is an iCloud. That is not an iCloud. That is a cloud where your information is safe, like Google Drive, like OneDrive. Sorry, OneDrive. So these are the like example of cloud storage where you can save your information. Okay, and we also need this testing because when your application, when you are building, they are building your application, they might be keeping this application in a cloud, and you have to test that. That's why we need this cloud testing. Okay, it's basically when we are testing this cloud, basically we are checking that if that performance of the cloud is working correctly or not. For example, if you have your computer in your local and you are like reading some document from your local means that from your laptop or computer, it's very fast, right? You can open very quickly. But when you go to that Google Drive and you try to open a document, it takes some time, right? Because of your connectivity issue, because your computer may be slow in the browser. So that kind of thing we have to test. So that is falls, all things falls under the cloud testing. Also, it goes under performance testing. So we'll check that later. Okay. But it's a cloud testing because your application is in the cloud. Okay. Then next is automation testing. You already know that whatever you do in manual, you can convert that to automation. So you don't need to spend a lot of time to do the job manually. So that is why we need this automation testing. It will save your time. It will save your money. Okay. Database testing. I already explained that database is something like you have data and you are checking it from the database. Let's say that you have an account in Amazon.com. So when you are creating this account, you are providing your email address, you're providing your phone number, your address, everything, right? What Amazon is doing with this information? They're saving this information to somewhere. They're saving this information. For us, it's somewhere. But for them, they're saving this information to a database. Now, when they're saving this information, now someone needs to check if that information is saving properly or not. Let's say that you are saying, okay, so my name is MD Zakir. Okay, so let's say that my first name is MD, last name is Zakir, and I want to save it in this format. Now, when you are inserting your first name as MD and last name is Zakir, and you are clicking on save, the developer had made the mistake and it's linked to a different location. So it's saving Zakir as a first name and MD as a last name. Or when it's saving only the Z, not the whole word or the name. So that is something like you have to perform the database testing, where you will check if the database is if the data is saving in the database correctly or not, in the populating in the correct location or not, the columns or not. Okay, so that's why you need to do the database testing. Usually we don't go for the AI. This is kind of like from our out of boundary. We don't do that in here. Performance testing. Performance testing is like performance. Performance, let's say that again, iPhone 14. When you buy that iPhone 14, you will be expecting this iPhone 14 supposed to perform better than iPhone 13. Let's say that you have an iPhone 13, you just bought a new phone, iPhone 14. Now you have expectation that this phone, the new phone, should work better than the iPhone 13, right? That is your expectation, and you should have that expectation. When you have that expectation, when you are saying, okay, so when I'm pressing, when I tap on that messages, it takes like longer than the previous one, like iPhone 13, which just means that it's a performance issue. It's not like coming that messages right away. It's taking some extra time. So that is an issue. Let's say that you are loading your contacts and it's loading properly, but it's taking some time. Again, it's a performance issue. So same thing goes for the web application. Let's say that I'm hitting this Amazon.com. That doesn't mean that I'm the only person in United States who is like hitting this Amazon.com right now. There are like a lot of people. Let's say that 100 people. Let's say now their server, that Amazon.com, should be able to handle this 100 requests at the same time. Should be. If not, then it will fail. Then you'll not be able to like load this Amazon.com. So there is a performance issue. So that is something like performance testing we have to perform. So what it says, performance testing is the practice of evaluating how a system performs in stability under a particular workload. You see that workload? So if 100% is like browsing at the same time, this Amazon.com, it should not be slow down the users. If the 100 user trying to access the Amazon.com at the same time, it should not be like fell down. Like the server should be up and running all the time. The application should be up and running. Okay, so that is the reason that we also have to perform this performance testing. But we don't do that in our course, because for this performance testing we need to use some other tools, and we usually don't need that. Most of the cases when you will go in the market, you will get the requirement for manual testing, automation testing, and sometimes database testing, but mostly automation testing. Okay.
That's the question I was almost about to ask. Like our main focus will be on manual testing and automation, correct?
Yes, your main focus should be automation, but if you get something like that you might work with, like you are comfortable with, like with the manual testing requirements, then you can go ahead and then apply for that.
Thank you.
Because this will be your first job, so I will prefer if you just look at that requirement. If you see that you are comfortable with that, also apply for the manual tester. It's fine. Because that is the thing, that is the point when you will get some idea about the real project, when you'll get idea about the environment, how the people works in the team, and you will be able to like get idea that how the project works, and you will implement that idea in your next project in the interviews.
Sounds good.
Okay, so anyone else have any question? Are you understanding what we are doing here, what we are learning? Okay, till now there is no issue. So I feels like everyone is understanding, and I hope this courses will go like this. Everyone say yes, they understood everything. Okay, now it's qualities of a good tester. How you will become a good tester. Every time what you will do, like let's say that everyone know how to cook. Let's say that you, even though you don't cook, you know how to cook. Now when you are cooking, you are checking something. What you check?
Is that all the ingredient available or not?
That is before you cook, right? After you cook, so what you test, what you check.
If it tastes good.
If it tastes good, and also the previous one also good answer, like if all the ingredients are available or not. You also check the recipe. That's also like a checking. Like also, like you have to think. So when you're cooking, you have to think what you're doing. So first of all, I need to check all the ingredients and if the recipe is available or not. If I'm following the recipe or not, then that the taste good or not, right? So testing is everywhere, and you are doing it in your daily life, everything. Like you are driving, and if there is a signal, you are checking the signal if that is becoming like yellow or not, right? If it is yellow, you have to slow down. If it is not, then you have to go through, right? Every place where you go, you are doing performing this testing. You are a tester, by-born tester. Okay, so these are the thing. Communication skills is like moderate or medium is fine. It's not like high level communication skills you need, because when you will be talking, you will be talking like the technical things, like okay, so I found this issue is about this one, so you have to fix it, or how can you fix it. So you have to talk technical things. So the high communication is not necessary, but if you know, then it will be helpful for you to communicate with the team. Analytic skill, analytical skill is something like you have to analyze that how many ways you can test it. Like when you're testing that food, you are testing not only it's only food, test food only, also like did you put the salt correctly, did you, is it spicy or not, did you get the good taste or not. So you are checking not only one test, you are checking a couple of things together, right? So this is kind of like analytical skills. You have to build it in yours when you are testing it. Technical skill that you will develop. Develop means that when you will know what kind of testing you have to perform, how to perform this testing, and what kind of tools you have to use, then that is your technical skills. And when you do know these technical skills, then your communication skill will be better. Caution, so you have to work properly on the testing, because based on your work, based on your testing, the product will get released. So I'm using some technical terms here, like product and the release. Release is something like you have to give that product to the user, so the owner, right? So that's mean that we are calling that as a release. Endurance and also creativity. I already explained that, right? And there is no such good like the good testers guide. I don't see anything like I never search it basically. I don't know if you find any. It's up to you if you want to read it. Now, terms to know. So these are the terms that at least you should know as a tester. Defect or bug. So the issue that I was using the term issue, right? So in the project, you will be using this term defect or bug. Okay, so there is a difference between defect and bug. We'll know that later, but right now just understand you need to know a couple of technical terms, and one of the terms is basically is for testers, because you will test it. If you find any issue, you have to log, you have to tell your developer, I find a defect, I found a bug. Okay, so you have to talk it, you have to use these terms. Acceptance criteria. Let's say that I say that I need this Okay, let me remove this one. Okay, so I said that the first tab should be Amazon Basic and the second tab should be bestseller. That was my requirement. Is that the developer fulfill my requirement? Anyone?
Sorry, what was the question, please again?
The question was, my requirement was the Amazon Basic should be in the first and the bestseller should be in the second. But now when I open this application, the bestseller is in the first and Amazon Basic in the second.
No,
Is that
it
the
didn't
that I
fulfill
asked?
the requirement. It should be Amazon one on the first, and the second one will be the bestseller option.
Yes. So that is the thing that we have to understand. So that is my acceptance criteria. That is my acceptance criteria. That is, I asked for to keep that Amazon Basic in the first place and that bestseller in the second place. That did not fulfill my acceptance criteria. So that is the term, acceptance criteria. It says that requirements that needs to be fulfilled for the client to accept the work that has been completed. So if anyone submit this work in this format, I will not accept this work because my acceptance criteria was this supposed to be go first and this one is second, but it didn't fulfill my requirement. So I will not accept this product. If I am the owner of this product, I will not accept this product. As a tester, you have to find out what is the acceptance criteria is. If you find out the acceptance criteria is Amazon Basic should be the first and bestseller is the second, then you have to tell your developer that I found a defect. In acceptance criteria, it says Amazon Basic should be the first and bestseller should be second, but you made a mistake. So you have to fix it. Now the developer will fix it and then developer will pass it to you again to test it. When you test it again and you find, okay, now it looks good, it fulfilled the requirement, it fulfilled the acceptance criteria, then they will send this product to the product owner. Then when I will open this application, I will see this one. Yes, the Amazon Basic is in the first and bestseller is in the second. Then I'll say, okay, so yeah, you follow my requirement, I will accept this product. Got it? So this is the way how it works in the real world. Showstopper, or we also call that as a blocker. So let's say that you are working. Now you have to test this. Now when you hit Amazon.com, it's not showing up. Let's say that it's not showing up. Amazon website is down. It's not showing up. So it's a road blocker, like a showstopper or the blocker. So the person, the developer or someone from your team, they have to fix it. So why this is not coming up? So they will fix it. Once they will fix it, you will be able to test it. So that's why it's a showstopper or road blocker. If you see here, any defect or issue that blocks the workflow or further testing, then that is a blocker or showstopper. Okay. Front-end user. When you go to this Amazon.com, you are a front-end user. You don't know anything about the backend. Backend means the database, how these things are saved, where these data are coming from. You don't know anything. Basically, you don't care about anything, right? When you go to this Amazon.com, you just go select any product, add it to your cart, and buy it. That's it. You don't care about anything like where it's saved, how this payment is going through. You don't know anything. So that is kind of like backend. And whatever you see here in the application, that is front end. The same thing is here. Person using the application from a user perspective. That is a front end user. program increase or product release. So usually every 3 months, sometimes it's also 2 months. There will be a 2 months release. So it depends on the project. Okay, so I will update this one here. So it depends. It can be like 2 months or 3 months. It depends on the project. It depends on how they like created that project, how to release that project, how frequently the product owner want to release that product. Okay, so that is kind of like product release. Sprint. We'll talk about more about this sprint, but I already explained this one. So every 2 weeks we have to submit our work within the week, within these 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks we call as a sprint. One sprint is 2 weeks, and usually we spend 4 weeks to get any product release. Sometime in some project they follow 6 sprint release. Means that after each and every 6 sprint, that's been 3 months, they will get a new release. Is there anyone who have a issue with the release term or didn't understand the release? If not, then it's also fine. We'll explain that later. We'll come to that because we have to understand this Scrum, we have to understand this sprint, release, the testing, everything. So, yeah.
So this 2 to 3 months release, it's not the final release you are talking about,
No.
right? It's just a little block of it, or right?
Yes. Let's say that
Yes.
here.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So this is Amazon.com, right? Do you think that they
Yes.
created this website in one release, like one time? No, right? What
Yes.
they did is they created this part, they released it. They created this part, they released it. They created this blog, they released it. So every time they added something new here. And it was not like this before, like before a year, maybe before a year, it was like not like this. It was very simple
So
website.
so this
Amazon.com.
is more like, is this what agile is like now?
Yes,
Like a,
yes,
yeah.
agile. So in the agile methodology, we'll explain that later. But in agile methodology, we expect something. The product owner wants to see something after a certain amount of time, like after 2 months or 3 months, they want to see something. What is the progress is? That's why almost like 95 to 99% projects they are following the agile methodology. But if you don't know about anything about the agile, don't worry, we'll cover that here. Okay, don't worry. Now this is sprint story here. Each story represents a ticket. I already uh, told you about the ticket, that we have to work on the ticket, right? Ticket that entails a specific task. So every ticket is a task that you have to perform. So in every sprint, I have to perform like 5 or 6 tickets, and we call this as like task. So when we'll do this task, that is basically considered as like a story. Sometimes we call this story, sometimes not story, basically is task. And storyboard. If you see this picture, the storyboard is something is also look like this. Like many of you might be using like this kind of like notes, sticky notes in your freezer, right? To remind you something, like you have to buy onions or potato or tomato, something like that. So you have a list of like grocery. When you go to the grocery, you just take that note with you and then you just go and buy, right? So in that place, you just write it and keep it. When you go, you just take it. But in our side, when you are working the development, you have to pick that, you have to keep it there. Then when you are in a progress of like doing that, you have to keep that in a specific column. We'll see that. And then when you're done, then put it in a done column. So the same thing, when you create this sticky note to buy the grocery, you create that and you put it in a sticky note freezer, right? And then when you go to the grocery, you take that note with you. When you're done, you just trash that. But here we don't trash it, we keep it like for our future reference, so that we show them that we did this work. Okay, so this is the storyboard. I will show you. Let me check if I can show you here, because we'll give you some all of you access to this board. This is called Jira board. In the real world, most of the project they are using Jira. Jira is a like a web-based application where this is also a project management tool. Project management tool means that how they manage the project, everything what they like tasks they do, they create it here and they progress it like in progress, done, or to do, backlog. So I will explain everything to you later. But now just I'm giving the idea. This is a tool. This is a like project management tool that we use in our project, where we have this kind of thing. You see these tickets? These are all tickets. This is also a ticket. This is in to do. When you did not start working on any ticket, that is in to do. When you started working on it, you have to drag it and put it in progress. When it's ready for testing, you are putting it in ready for testing. That is the things that is done by the developer. Okay. Now when it's done, then you say it's done. Your part has until this point. When you are done, then after every 2 weeks that I say that is a sprint, right? One sprint is every 2 weeks. So in the end of that sprint, the product owner and the scrum master, I already explained the role of the scrum master. The scrum master and the product owner, they will have a meeting all together, the whole team, and they will check each and every ticket and check that is that really done. If it's done, then they will accept that. If it is not, then they will reject, or they will pass it to the next sprint to work on that. So that is how it works. This is a board. Okay, now I will give you access to this board to everyone. I will give you that username and password where you can go and check everything. You can work on this American Airlines project, or if you want, you can create another project. It's up to you, but you can do anything except one thing. Don't change the username and password. Don't do that. Except that whatever you want to do here, because this is your real work, that where you will see the same thing in your project. So it will be a good thing if you do some practice here. Just create a ticket, drag it to in progress, drag it to testing, drag it to done. Just do it. It's a very simple thing. If you see here board, list, timeline, you can see a lot of things here. We can also write some test here. I'll show you later how to write the test cases here and what is the test case. You don't know the test case, so I will explain that later. But we will also do these things here. Okay, everything is online now. Okay, so this is the thing that we will do later. Do you have any question? This is a really good thing, like if you don't have any question. Okay, it's 8:37, so I will continue like next 15 minutes or so. Then we'll move forward for the help session if you need any help. If you don't need any help, then you can drop that call and then we'll move forward. We will need the help. Okay. Okay, so these are things. Manual testing. how you do that testing introduction. So you have to do that different terms. You have to understand the different terms and concepts that are used in the industry. So like I said, that different kind of testing you have to perform, and you need to know all these testing names and how to test these things. You need to know that. Quality assurance and testing, Agile Scrum. So we'll explain more on this one. And SDLC, we also learned this SDLC because without that, you will not be able to understand the Agile. Professional life of a tester is really very tough because always you have to find the defect, find the bug, and make the life of the developer hell. Prepare for automation class. Yes, that's true. Once you are done with this manual, you have to be prepared for the automation. And then Jira. So Jira that I just showed here is I told you it's a project management tool where you can also track your defect. Let's say that you find the defect. This is the defect. Bestseller is in the first location, first place. It should not be. So this is a defect. You are a tester. You find this defect. Now, if you found this defect, you have to show somewhere so that the developer can start working on it, right? So that is the place. That is the Jira is the place where you have to create a defect. So if you see here this create, click on this create, then you'll see this issue type. It's a bug. You see, this is a bug. Now once you select the bug, you have to give some information here based on your project. So some information are not like related to your project, so you don't need to. You have to give summary, you have to give the description, what is the bug is about, how you can recreate it, environment, category. So these are all things that we'll learn later. But for now, just understand this is an application. You have to go and check this application. I will give you the link of this application and also give you the username and password so that you can log into the system. Okay. So you need to understand this Jira very carefully because most of the project they are using Jira, and some of the project they are using ALM. This is a different company tool, and version 1 also. So this is different kind of like the same project management tool, but from different company, different product. But here we'll follow the Jira because Jira is the main thing like right now they are using. Okay, this thing you will understand log the defect. So I just show you that. Just click on create and select the bug and just give some information about the defect. Okay, how to write the test cases, we'll learn that. So in two ways we can write the test cases, either in Excel sheet, Microsoft Excel, or we can write the test cases here in Jira. Here. It's not loading. Okay. Okay. Let me check. You see, these all are the test cases. These all are the test cases. And if you see, let me check one of the test cases here. How to write the test case? It's basically like, it's very simple. If you just understand one time, then you'll never get forget this, how to write the test case. What is my test case steps? It's loading. Okay, this is the place. You see this one? So this is the only two step I have. Open Google Chrome, navigate to www.aa.com. So I will explain that later in the next session. But now just I'll give you this URL and just try to play around with this application. Do whatever you want to do except one thing. Don't change the password and username. Okay. So this is the one. Okay. And how many of you think like I'm going too fast? Because based on your capability, I will take this class. So till now, you understood everything.
Definitely with the terms, that was fine. But definitely, I hope that with the Jira, using the Jira and also test case, how to create test cases, these should be, you're gonna go a little slower on these, right?
Yes, I will take some extra time to show you how to operate this Jira. But right now, I'm just giving you the URL and the username and password so that you can just play around. It's kind of like application.
Right,
Even
right.
if
That's
you don't
fine.
do
Yeah.
anything. So if I'm why I'm giving you before I showing you is when you will play with this and when I will show you, then you will get the idea. Okay, yeah, I played on this one, so this one worked like this way. Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, that sounds good that we can play around with that. So something, of course, something that is very crucial that you are
Mm.
saying that most of the companies use it. So, and yeah, it's important that we understand it right and we get comfortable with it, right?
Yes. So my understanding is I'm not sure about all of yours, but my understanding is if you play around with this application and then I will show you that how it works, then it will help you to understand. But when I will show you first, then you might understand it, you might not, and then you have to go through this video again. You have to check how to do it, how I have gone through this step, how I have created this step. So you have to go through this every step again, and that's why I want to do it in other way. Just play around with this application, and then I'll show you how this thing works.
Sounds good. That sounds good. Yes.
Okay. Okay, so then let's start because we have enough time. So let's start with this SDLC. So the SDLC is what is software development lifecycle. SDLC. It's a very short form, but it's a very big thing. SDLC. All the companies, when they are creating a project, when they are creating, developing a product, they are using any of the like approach of this SDLC. SDLC is kind of like we have different methodologies, but main thing is SDLC, which is software development lifecycle. Each and every product have to go through this life cycle. So we'll understand this one first. So SDLC is a process followed by a software project. So all the projects follow this process. All the projects. It doesn't matter like how small is that, how big is that, but they follow a process. This SDLC within a software organization. So it's fine. It consists of detailed plan describe how to develop, maintain, replace, and alter or enhance specific software. SDLC ensured success in process of software development, and that is why we need this SDLC in a place in our project. Let's try to look at this picture. You might not understand this one right now, but you are already in a process in this SDLC in your real life, like you're doing it every day. I'll give you the example. Just give me a second. Okay. Uh, it starts from here, analysis, but before this analysis, we also have one phase that is called requirement gathering. once you have requirements like in your hand, then you are analyzing this requirement. The whole project, I'm talking about the whole project, not about only the testers. At first, if you want to work in a project, let's say that I'm like a product owner of eBay. So I have to have some requirement. Without the requirement, you'll not be able to create any product, right? So I have some requirement, and I'm passing that requirement to the development team, to a company or to a development team. Now the development team will analyze that requirement, how they will complete that, how they will perform that. They will analyze that. After the analysis, they will design it. So design it means that how that it will be look like. So it will be in designing part. Let's say that this Amazon.com, it's a design they have followed, right? They're like following a specific approach they have it to design this page. So at first they have requirement, then they are analyzing this requirement, then they are designing how they will show this requirement, and then implementation. This implementation is basically the part of the developer. Developer will write the course to develop this. After the development is done, then your part is come here, that is testing. So you have to test is everything is working fine or not. Is everything is in a place or not. If the developer is following the acceptance criteria or the requirement or not, or you are able to like break the system or not, find the defect or not. So you're doing everything in testing here. Once the testing is done and there is no issue, even though if you find an issue, the developer fix that. If you don't find any issue, then it goes to the next step, that is deployment. That's meant that you are releasing it. When you release that product, when your deployment is done, then you are also performing maintenance. Maintenance means that after the product, when you release the product, you are performing some maintenance, like you are doing if there is any issue any in the customer or the client is facing any issue, you are fixing that. That is kind of like maintenance you are doing. So how you can relate this one in your daily work? It's a very let's say that you want to buy something. Can anyone help me here? Any volunteer here? Anyone?
Like I want to buy a car.
Okay, let's go and buy a car. So when you will buy a car, what you do first?
I will think which brand should I go for, and which color, how many engine performance, how many gas mileage I will get. I'll think about those requirements first, then I'll choose the car.
Okay, at first you are gathering the requirements, right? Your requirement.
Yep.
Let's say that you have a requirement. Should we go in that way? No, that's fine. It's okay. Let's go with your requirement. So you are gathering the requirement for your car, like a dream car. From the different companies, they have a different like offer. So you are requiring all this information, right? You're gathering all this information. First of all, you're gathering all this information. When all this information you gather, so you have like 7 car, let's say 7 or 8 car you choose from different companies. When you're done, then you are analyzing it, right? Now, which car should be best for you?
Correct.
Okay. When you are done with the analyzing, then you are doing the designing. Okay, so designing in this part, designing is kind of like you are choosing that car and you are choosing like the color, the door, that kind of things are kind of like design. Okay, so you're designing. Once you're done, everything is done, then you are going to the showroom, right?
Correct.
So your showroom, if their showroom have that car, they're showing you. That is the implementation. They're showing it to you. Then you do the test drive.
Perfect.
So when you do the test drive, that is testing.
Mm-hmm.
When you're done, then you do the paperwork, right? And then you got the car. So when you get the car, that is the deployment. That means the release. They release the car to you.
Got
That
it.
deployment. Once the deployment is done, when the release is done, then after every like 3 months or 6 months, you go for the oil change,
That one is requirement, maintenance.
maintenance. So you are doing so not only for the car, but in everything, whatever you do in your daily work, you are following this SDLC.
Correct. Thanks.
No problem. Is there anyone else wants to go for any other example? No? Okay, so I have a requirement. Let's say that I want to cook. I want to cook a curry. Like I want to make a curry, like chicken curry. What are my requirements, sir? Anyone?
Sorry, I didn't hear the question.
I want to cook chicken curry. So what are my requirements?
I need chicken first, then I need all the ingredients like a recipe, how to cook it, how long I have to cook it, what are the ingredients I have to put on the chicken to make a chicken curry. This is the part of like analyzing.
There's a part of the analysis that how much time it will take and how you will like cook. So that is like analysis. But the requirement is kind of like what ingredients you need, right?
Right.
Now the design. So in design phase, you are designing that what kind of chicken curry you are like making with potato, without the potato, like with the spicy, something like that.
Yes.
Then implementation, that is you are cooking.
Is that salt is okay or not?
That, that is testing.
Okay.
When you're checking the salt, checking that doing the test, that's testing. And after the testing,
Deployment.
deployment. That's mean you're eating it.
Yes. We're taking a test drive how the chicken curry has cooked.
Okay, so after the test drive, after the checking the test, chicken curry is testing good, then you are eating it. That is deployment. Then what is maintenance?
Oh, the salt is little bit higher. We need to add some water on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got it.
Thank you.
You got the perfect SDLC on the chicken curry. Okay. Any other question or anything that you didn't understand from this SDLC? No? Okay, so these are the phases. Requirement gathering, analysis, design, coding, that is mean development or implementation, testing, and here we can keep these two as like a same phase, like delivery and maintenance. Okay, so I'll stop here today, and from next session we'll start all the phases one by one. What are they? Because it's not like we can start today. We'll go through all these steps separately in our next session. But till now, do you have any question?
Um, it will be nice to have a glossary of the terms. Just like with the with the list of the terms that's important to remember, and with the definition, like a list. I mean, do you do that, or I mean, we should do that maybe.
No, no, you see, that's requirement gathering. So for requirement gathering, we have a separate slide for that. So we'll explain that what is requirement gathering is and how it works in your software development phase.
No, no. The all the ter- the wh- In the whole session, there were
Mhm.
like a lot of terms to remember, right? So it would be nice to have like a summary of it, that the most important terms that we can have like a list of the terms, important terms that we
Mm,
can maybe study, or study guide type kind of thing. Do you
I, I
think?
I got it, but I don't have it right now. Like I didn't get that requirement, so I have to like analyze that requirement. Then I will implement that. So right
Yeah,
now
that's
I
fine.
don't have this slide for kind of like glossary thing, but I'll do that from the next
Okay.
session.
Yeah,
I'll do
yeah.
that. I'll keep that glossary thing so that it will give you the idea that terms that I covered in that session.
Right,
Okay.
right, right. Yeah.
So
Thank you. It was
right
just a
now,
suggestion. Thank you.
yeah, that's fine. So it is a good idea. So I'll try to implement that. And let's do this glossary like this. I- Understand the important terms here. That is
Right.
QA.
So that
Uh,
we don't get lost. We don't get lost. Like, oh my
yeah,
God, which so many. Yeah. So that will
yeah,
keep it
that is
kind of, yeah.
yeah. It's true. So that is why it's kind of like the manual testing is you will feel boring because we have to go through this slide. But when we'll start the automation, there is not a single slide will follow. All are like practical work.
Yeah. But I think in the interviews you are asked asked manual testing questions, right? So for
Yes.
that we need
For
to
that, you
kind
need
of
to
memorize
learn
them.
these
Yeah.
terms. Yes, that's true.
Yes. Yes. Thank
And
you.
no problem. And thank you for your suggestion. Okay.
No problem. Thanks.
So what we have to do with Jira? So in Jira, this is a place where you have to work in a project. So let's say that this is a board. So I just give you the example of like sticky note, right? So what you do the sticky note, you write something on that you need to buy or something like you have to do, right? So when you have to do, so you will keep that note in your something is sticked in your freezer or in a wall, something like that, in the board. Then when you are in it in a progress, you take that and you keep it with you. That is because that is in progress. And when it's done, then you are putting it in done. That is the thing that you do in your real work. Exactly the same thing all the projects follows, that each and every ticket have to create here and have to have some name who is doing that. So if this project have like 5 people here, then they have to create something like this. For each and every person, they have like 3, 4, 5 tickets. No one can like start working all together. One person can take only 1 or 2 at the same time to keep it in progress and work on that, and then put it, if that person is a developer, they put it for testing. And if you're a tester and if you're doing it, so in progress and done, that's it. So what you need to do in Jira is, I will share this link with you, and you have to go to this Jira board and you have to play around. There is no task. You just need to play around and check what are these things are. Just go and check. That's it. You don't need to remember anything. You don't need to memorize anything from this Jira. You just need to play around this application. That's it. Nothing else.
So did you say we can do whatever we want, just not change the username and the password?
Yes.
Yes. So when we are doing that, so like we do something and then we close it, it's not going to be saved, right?
It will say. It will
Okay. It
say.
will? It
It
will?
will say. Yeah. So if you are saying that if you are in a board, if you click on create and say something like something to do and click outside. Oh, sorry. I have to click on this here. Story. You see that? It's created
Yeah.
here.
Mm-hmm.
So you can create, it's fine. It's fine.
So when we close and come back to it, we will see it.
Yeah, you said.
Okay.
Let
Okay.
me
So
refresh the page.
so is it individualized? We each are gonna get our own, or how is it gonna work?
So if you want to make your work like by I mean that if you want to separate your work, what you can do is in each and every task,
Uh-huh.
put in your name, like after the common, like after the summary. Yeah.
Hmm.
Let me check here. 1 second. Okay, it's coming. So in the summary, in the description, or even though in the summary here, just put in your name here.
I see.
In that way, you will track your work.
I
Because
see.
the username and password I will be sharing, it will be like 6 or 7. So whichever username and password you use, you will be able to log in. After you log in, just play around here with this creating these things.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Um, yeah, that is the thing with the you have to do with the Jira. Okay, let's go back to that the slides here. So QA is the term that you have to know because this is the place where you will work as like QA. Then these are the things that we'll cover like in our whole course: manual testing, automation, SQL, and API testing. These are the title. You might be hired as like a quality assurance tester, software tester, automation tester, QA engineer. Then project and product, you might not need to remember all these things. You just need the idea. That's it. Do not try like it's my point of view. I don't know about yours. If you are like able to memorize everything, you can do that. But from my point of view, you should understand the topic, not only just memorize it. Because when you memorize it and when you go to the interview, you might forget the things that you memorized. But when you understand, if anyone asks you something from there, you'll be able to explain that. That's why I try to give you the example with the real world. So these are the things that everywhere you go, software is there. Then this is like application and software. What is the difference between application and software? These are the application and these are the software. Like Facebook is an application, but we can install this Facebook application in your mobile and also in our computer, but still we can access this Facebook by using the browser. That is the main goal of the Facebook was. Then they created this application. After that, you have to understand that why you are doing testing. Why you are doing testing? Again, why you are doing testing? Because of loss that might cost you. Not only you, might cost your company, the project. So you have to save that time and money. Benefits of software testing. So these are the basic, very basic thing. You might not need this for the interview, but it's fine if you want to go through this. So manual testing, these are the testing you have to perform: manual testing, cloud testing, automation, database, and performance testing. But mostly you will be concerning this automation testing and manual testing. Then we are here, the qualities of good tester, what you need to like be a good tester, what the qualities you need. Even though if you don't have anything from here, still if you complete the course, you might have all this in your, you might get all this quality on you. Okay, then these are the terms. So this is the place that Shafrin, I think, was asking about specific terms that you should know, that you should practice. That is defect or bug. Because you are a tester, you will always find some issue. When you will find the issue, you will not tell that I find the issue, I found the issue. You have to tell them I found a defect, I found a bug. So this is kind of like the words that we use in our real world. Acceptance criteria, so I already explained that if there is a requirement, you have to follow the acceptance criteria. Showstopper, if something is blocking you to do your work, that is a showstopper. Front end user, like UI, user interface. So this is, we call user interface. This is user interface. So you are an user interface. So it's a front end user. Program increase, which is mean product release. So every 2 months or every 3 months, we give a release. So if this is a very even though it's a very small or big project, we always follow the agile. In agile, we have to give some release after every 2 or 3 months, and every 2 weeks we have to like complete our task in within 2 weeks, and that is called, every 2 weeks is one sprint. So we'll explain that, we'll learn this more about this sprint in later slides. Task. So this is the thing, you see this is a task. This is the task that you have under your name. So you have to do this. You have to do this. And same thing you see here, storyboard. This is a storyboard. You see this, the picture, the way it's have this sticky notes. The same thing here. To do, in progress, testing, done. Testing is like depends on the project. You might see some other columns, you might not see this testing, it depends. But usually we see these 4 columns. One is for to do, and also there is one column called backlog, but backlog is not something like shows here. I will explain that backlog later. But you have something here starting from here, then when you are working on it, so you have to keep it here, so your team will know that you are working on this task. So they will ask you that, okay, what is your progress on this task? They will ask you. Then you will say, okay, so I'm working on something to do, and there is something to do. You have to explain that. And then when you are done, if you are a developer, then the developer will keep the task here so that the testers can start testing. And if you are a tester and if you're working on it, you can just drag it to done. So that's mean you are done. So this is a board. This is a Jira board. Okay. And after that, you don't have any question. And this is the manual testing things that you have, at least you need to know as a like manual testers. Sorry, this is the software development lifecycle that we just started, and we also know the some of all the phases of that. And do one thing before the next session, uh, try to relate at least one of your daily work with this SDLC. Okay, and after that, if you want to share that with us in the class, you can do that. It's not mandatory, but if you do that, if you create something like that, it will help you to understand this SDLC process. So when you will go with this all these phases separately on your next session, then you will understand that how these things are working. Okay, so try to create something by your own. We just created today in the class car buying option, and then the like cooking. So now it's up to you if you want to make something like buying a dress or something like that. Okay, you can do that. So these are the phases, and in the interview they might ask you that what are the phases we have in SDLC. So you have to tell them requirement gathering, analysis, design, this coding also called as like development, testing, and delivery or maintenance. And maintenance is also called like yeah, it's fine, delivery and maintenance. So this is the 6 phases you have to tell them, and make sure that you have to tell them in this sequence. You cannot tell them, okay, so it's a design, testing, requirement gathering, analysis, delivery. No, you cannot do that, because SDLC, you have to follow this sequence. You have to. Okay. So till now, you need to only memorize this one in a sequence, and other than that, try to understand. Okay. Okay, so do you have any question, any other thing that we need to discuss? Okay, so if not, then I'm open for next 10 or 15 minutes. So whoever needs extra help, they can stay and then we can talk. And whoever don't need any, like doesn't need any help, then they can drop the call. No problem. Thank you.
Actually, I need extra help because
Yes.
this is the new, all
Yes.
new
Yes.
for me.
It's not only for you. I think it's for everyone. Every topic, every term that I'm using here is good for everyone. So if you need any extra help, just tell me what I can
Actually,
help.
I don't understand the, yeah, you tell me, tell us how we make the board, the
Mhm.
how we make the Jira board. I can understand.
Okay, I got it. So let's say that you have to buy something. Let's say you have to buy
Yeah.
something from the grocery.
Mm-hmm.
So how you make a list in a phone?
Mm-hmm.
Am I right?
My phone or notebooks.
In a paper, right?
Yes.
In a paper.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, Okay, Riza, if I will talk to you later. Okay, just give me some time. Yes. So the thing is, you are making a list of that, right? So when you're making a list of that, that's mean that you have to buy this thing, right?
Yes.
So that's mean that that is you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
You got the point? So you have to do. You have to buy that thing.
First, I make a list.
Make a list. That's mean that the things that you have in this list, you
Mm-hmm.
have to buy that things, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that is why we keep that in to do. Let me show you that. So that is why we keep that here in to do. Now, when you go to the market and you take that note with you and you
Mm-hmm.
check each and every item from that note and you are buying it from you are taking it and putting it in your cart. So what you're doing? You're in progress. So you are checking each and every product and putting it in cart. Am I right?
Oh, after I when I buy, then I put the card.
No, when you go to the grocery, for example,
Oh,
Walmart.
grocery. Oh,
So
mm-hmm.
when you go to the Walmart,
Uh-huh.
before you pay, you go to that the location of bread and you take the
Oh,
bread and
everything
put it in
is
your
I
cart
put in my card. Yes.
and you check the list. Okay, I got that bread, and you just cross that bread from the list, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is the thing. So that is the in progress. So the thing, the list you have.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're buying it. You are taking that and you put it in your cart. So that is in progress. So you are working on that list, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now you are working on this, and then when you are working, so if you want to do the testing, so that is something different. So I'm not going to that part now. So when you're done with this list,
Mm.
you're paying that, right?
Uh-huh.
You're paying that money for that items. When you pay,
Mm.
then your list is complete, right? Your
Yes.
buying is complete.
Mm-hmm.
Then do you need that list anymore? Do you need that
No,
list of item anymore? No, right?
no, hey.
So that's
Right.
mean that that is done.
Done. Oh, it's okay.
Okay, so that's mean
Uh-huh.
that is done. Now
Yes.
let's say that you are buying this, you are have this list for someone else. Let's say you're doing this work for someone else. Now what that so you're taking this product, these items to that person, and that person will check each and every product by the list and say, okay, so you got the bread, you got the milk, you got the egg, okay, so everything is working fine. You got the everything. When
Yes.
that person check everything,
Mm.
then the person will take that and put that accepted. Okay, I accept that. So you have done the job for me.
Oh, okay. Now I understand. Thank you.
No, no problem. Any other issue?
So you said you will give us the password and the login for this,
Yeah, I will
and
email you. I will email
you will
you.
you will email it to us, and also the link for this session, right? All of those you're gonna.
Yes. Okay, yes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
this session it will take like an hour or so to
Mm-hmm.
available in that like
Mm-hmm.
get that video.
Okay.
So after I get that URL, I will share that URL with you and also that username and password and that URL of the Jira.
Right, right, right. Yeah, thank you so much. We are all new, so it will help us learn. I mean, like today is the first day, so of course we are feeling lost. But inshallah, hopefully it will go easier and easier, and we'll be hopeful. No problem. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
no problem. Okay. Anyone else have any question or anything to discuss?
Please again you give your email number. Email,
Oh
please.
yes. Let
Oh,
me. You will get an email from me tonight about this for this recording and also the link
oh,
for
okay.
Jira. But
Oh, oh.
let me share this again here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Service.com. So this is my email address. So if you need any help, just email me. I'll try to help you as soon as possible. And yes, whenever I get that URL, that the link recording is ready, I will share that recording link. Also, I will share that URL for the Jira and the username and password. Okay, so thank you all. Thank you for joining, and hopefully we'll meet again on Thursday.
Thank